I'm just waiting to see if a couple of people come on, and as people start joining, then I'm going to. Oh, there's somebody. There's somebody. I don't know who that is, but there's somebody. So if you come on today, give me a hello in the comments, and I'll give you a shout out to say who's viewing with us today. This is Barbara Moore, and I have COPD. I was diagnosed in 2016, and I created this page as a community support so that those with COPD could help each other. Hi, Emily. How are you today? Thank you so much for joining us. So I just want you to know before we get started that this is an open page, and anybody can come in here and anybody can read your comments. Hi, Elaine. How are you today? So this is day 55 of self-isolation for me. Hi, Joanne. Thank you for being here today. Day 55 of self-isolation. I never thought that I would be able to pull this off. It has been 42 days since I have seen my grandson, and I think everybody is sick of hearing me say, and I haven't seen my grandson. But honestly, 42 days without seeing him, I can't believe that I'm doing this. Hi, Daniela. Thank you for joining us today. Hey, Kevin. Thanks for being here today. So, Kevin, I'm sure that you don't need this. I know that most of us are in need of some hair care. And for those of you who are like me, and you might not have never known this, but I dye my hair to get this. This isn't all just natural. And so, I was putting some mascara on my roots. That's an old trick that most women know about. Hi, Kevin. Hi, Sandra. So if you have dark hair like me, you can put a little bit of mascara on the roots and it kind of touches it up a bit, right? But mine has kind of gone past the mascara touch-ups, right? So I just wanted to let ladies know, and men too, if you have dark hair, and a lot of men color their hair, believe it or not. But anyways, this is what I used. It's I know it's backwards. It's L'Oreal Instant Spot Concealer Spray, and it's called Magic Root Touch-Up. Magic Root Touch-Up. And, or Cover-Up, sorry. Magic Root Cover-Up, sorry. And it comes in, hi Patricia. It comes in several different colors. So I did mine yesterday so that it wouldn't be so strong. And it's a little bit darker than what I should have used. Maybe I'm using a medium brown. I should have used a light brown. No, this is not dye. This is just like spraying hairspray, but there was no odor to it at all. So, I know that good for you, Aubin. So I'm thinking of it too. I'm thinking of letting the gray grow out. And this might just be the test of time. We'll just see how long it takes to, because it's going to take me a little bit longer to get to the hairdresser than it will everybody else, right? So just while we have the two colors, just if you're interested, right? Otherwise, if you don't like to use something like that and you have dark hair, you can, you can just touch the root line with mascara, right? Excellent. So I'm thinking of letting mine grow out, but we'll see. Carol, I love the color of your hair. And I do believe that is natural. The first time I've seen you, I know a lot of people haven't seen your picture. Hi, Amy. So, Amy, are you not concerned about being in isolation or being around this lady that's your girlfriend? Well, that sounds nice. Aubin says that she went, she colored hers for the Pride Month last year, and she got all different colors. That's fabulous. That's a great idea. I love it. Yeah, I love your hair, Carol. I love the color of your hair. My brother is like that, but I don't think that my hair will kind of be like that. Hi, Tom. How are you today? So, day 55 of self-isolation, 42 days since I've seen my grandson. Did I say that already? I think I did. And I know that everybody's missing their families, and everybody is, we've been through Easter. We've been through several birthdays in my family. And hi, Heather. And several birthdays in my family, and Mother's Day is coming up, and I probably won't see my children again for Mother's Day. So it's really pinnacle, right? It's really hard to live apart, especially when we're living so close together. And so, as Amy has said, hi, Anne, thank you for joining us today. Oh, good for you, Anne. It was lifetimes ago that I was a hairdresser. I kind of gave that up when I got married, but lifetimes ago, yes, I was a hairdresser, and so I understand some stuff about it. My problem is I'm going to have to cut my husband's hair because we went for clippers last weekend, and there isn't any, right? Because everybody's at the same stage, right? Their hairdresser, they haven't seen their hairdresser in months, and so everybody's looking for clippers, so there aren't any. But my problem is lifting my hands up over I guess it's my shoulders, right? I have a really, really hard time with it, and that's why I have a hard time in the shower too, when I'm trying to wash my hair, because I can't lift my hands up too much over my head. So that will be my problem, right? And having the stamina to stand up, right? Because I don't do a lot of stuff standing up right now. We have extended in Ontario till May 31st. We know that in Ontario, we're watching the numbers, and we know that they're on the right track. They were going on the right track for 3 or 4 days, and we were all going, yes, 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 yes. And last night it went up by like 500 cases overnight. So, it goes down a little bit and it comes back up again and it goes down a little bit. So cities are reopening, and I know that a lot of the states in the United States are reopening. Some of the western parts of Canada are opening. And hi, Kat, how are you? Hi, Marilyn. And so my question to you today is, how are you going to manage with reopening? What are you going to do? We know that people with chronic illnesses, like ours, who have fibromyalgia, who have been through cancer treatments, who have things like COPD, which is an upper respiratory, it's a respiratory disease. We know that we are more compromised than most of the rest of the country, and because we have been through this before, where we've hi, Karen. Where we have been in contact with somebody who has had a cold or something, and we got sick. And when we get sick and we get a cold, it's not just a matter of, waiting 10 days to get over it. For those of us who have severe COPD, we land in the hospital. We usually land on respirators. And as most of us know, when we are on respirators, although everybody says, yeah, this is pretty easy. You go on a respirator, you come off, you feel great, blah, blah, blah. There's tons of people who do not come off the respirators. My sister went on a respirator and she never came off of it. So we have to be really, really careful about how we're going to allow our government to tell us to open up. Even though some places are opening, and, you can't compare one city or one town or one country to another. You have to take it on a one-on-one basis. And we have to be very, very careful that we are keeping ourselves safe. We have to learn to advocate for ourselves. And if we're not going to advocate for ourselves and say, no, I don't want that visitor in the house because that visitor has had cold, flu, coronavirus, who knows what they've got. Hi, Merlin. Good for you, Elaine. So Elaine's from New Brunswick, and she says they have a 2-family bubble. So her son has chosen to stay with her. That means that she gets her grandson. Good for you. I'm so happy for you. I wish that had happened to us, but unfortunately it didn't. But because we learned how to live in isolation, and we're doing such a really, really good job at it, right? Let's not blow it now. So we have to all be careful. We have to be our own advocates of when we will leave our houses, how we will do that, what it's going to look like. And as we go along and more states and more cities and more towns open, I know that there's towns in Canada, in the western provinces, that have opened already, or that are looking at opening. And it's a different life out there. It's not like metropolitan areas like Toronto and Hamilton and those kinds of places, New York City and that. So you have to kind of take it for what it is, right? Those places can open because there is so much open, open space, and people don't run into each other. People are farmers back down there. When out west, people are farmers. And there's not a lot of metropolitan areas that have been opened, but the farming places have. So when your government says that they're going to open, and they're going to allow everybody to come out of their homes and, socialize again, what is your living going to be like? How will you advocate for yourself? Will you speak up for yourself? Will you say, no, I can't do that because I can't see that person because they have been affected with COVID-19, or because that person has a cold? Advocate, A-D-V-O-K-A-T-E. Yes, it is. It's an advocate. What did I say? We were talking about this on a conference call yesterday about my accent. I swear I don't have an accent, but some people I guess can't understand, or I'm not saying it clear enough. Yes, it's easy for other people to say, my husband says, I can go out, it's not a big deal. And my son can say, I can go out, it's no big deal. There's nothing wrong with it, nobody's sick and whatever. But they don't understand that when they go out, it's what they're bringing back to you, right? They're bringing it into my house. And Carol, I swear you don't have an accent either. But you have to be careful about what people are bringing into your house. And it can be lots of things, right? People are now buying these keys. It looks like a key. It's not a key. It doesn't open anything. But it's for pushing buttons. Hi, Gwen. It's for pushing buttons on ATM machines. It's for pushing buttons on the elevators. It's for, it has a latch on it so you can pull the door open in that, right? And those are the things that we should be looking at. Those are the things that you should have in your head for when you do go out again, right? I also saw this thing that had a pull at the bottom of the door so that you could pull it with your feet. It was all over Facebook, so I'm sure everybody has seen it. Everybody should have it. Be careful of the stuff that your mind is telling you. Most of what your mind is saying to you right now are false beliefs. We know that they're false because we have had no experience in this before. So how can your mind know what's going to happen? And these false beliefs are telling you that things are going to be worse than they are. We are a world of people who have been educated. We have evolved. And the thing that we haven't done with all of the evolution that we have had is we haven't trained our mind. And this is where I guess you can say that mindfulness comes in again. You have to take control of your thoughts and challenge them. You have to reason with them. The past is gone, and no matter what happens, we can't go back and change it. Hi, Diane. The future is not here, so there's no point in worrying about the future. As we all know who have COPD, you may go to sleep tonight and never wake up. So why are you worrying about something that hasn't happened yet? The only thing that we can concentrate on now is this moment. what is happening today. Pay attention to what you are doing today and stop worrying about what's going to happen, when the country opens up. If you're like me, you're a planner. I like to plan things. Hi, Patricia. I like to, hi, Tammy. I like to plan things. I like to have things so that I like to manipulate things so that they're within my control. So how will you keep what is happening now in your control? Most of you are pretty smart people, and you were all educated around the same time as I was. Many of us were on job interviews, and we all, we all talked to specialists and people as we were going through our career. Does anybody remember what is called a star situation? So I used to use this when I was teaching my students, and star situation is something that's used by human resources. Yes, you're right, Marilyn. Knowledge is a fabulous thing. So we used to use this star situation. And we created situations, and then we would solve them through the star situation. And I thought about this last night, and Kat was my old student. If any of my students remember me, they always said, oh yeah, she'd never shut up about that stupid star situation, right? But I always thought it was such a great thing, because we talk about the situation that's about to happen, the task at hand, the action that you will take, and then what will the result be? Star. Situation, task, action, and result. So I was sitting here last night and I was thinking about how am I going to leave the house? What are the things that I am going to do? And I wrote down the star situation. Where are you from, Joe? UK. Hi, Susan. Susan's my sister-in-law, if anybody doesn't know. So start situation. And you can look this up on the internet. It's really very interesting. We have nothing else to do but look stuff up on the internet. So I was thinking about, how do I leave the house, right? Will I wear a mask? How many of you will wear a mask when you leave the house? There's some controversy about how much protection we're getting from wearing a mask, right? And whether it's really necessary or not. What I heard a lot of people say about wearing the mask was that they really have a hard time breathing, and I do too. Oh, do you, Carol? So how will you get your mask? Will you order one on Facebook? Because tons of people on Facebook are making them. What kind of mask will you get? Will you put a filter in your mask? And if you make a homemade mask, what kind of filter are you going to put into it? So the situation is, we got to figure out this mask thing, right? First of all, we have to figure out whether or not we're going to wear one. I have a really hard time breathing with them, and I don't know that I can. Well, that sounds nice. Carol says she found a really nice one on Etsy. I've never shopped on Etsy. I must try that. So I've had a couple of things on about making homemade masks and what they look like, right? One of them was absolutely fabulous. I thought it was a joke, but it's really not. You can make them out of socks, right? Out of old socks. Yeah, the cotton washable ones really seem to be nice. They're nice and soft. They have some really, really nice colors to them and shapes and stuff, right? So which mask will you wear? So who knows what mask they're going to wear, right? Carol said that a nice cotton mask, a soft washable. Aubin said she bought a soft washable mask. Where did you buy these masks? So Carol bought hers at Etsy. There's something that you can ETSY. You can shop there for them. I know that there's a ton of people right now that are, at least in the Hamilton area, that are making the masks, right? So we've got to figure out this mask thing, right? I'd love it if some people could send me a picture of their masks so that I can have a look at them. I saw one really gorgeous one yesterday that was kind of done like it was all black, and it was done in I'm not sure exactly what it was called, but it looked like a Phantom of the Opera design. I thought, oh, that would be really cool, right? Of course, I lost it on Facebook and I can't find it. Yeah, what about gloves? Will you wear gloves? What about an N95 mask? Oh, that's good, Tom. Tom has an N95 with oxygen. No gloves. Why no gloves, Carol? No gloves. You know, if you're touching those ATM machines, right? Yes, I saw them for $5 each. N95's too much, is it? Okay. Yeah, I thought it was so clever too, right? A sock mask. Can you believe it? So use hand sanitizer. Okay. I can't get any hand sanitizer. I can't find any. Oh yeah, that's a good idea. I'm always worried about those baskets in the grocery stores, right? So the problem with using the mask and the gloves is that people are not using them properly. That's a whole problem, right? Gloves especially are being, people are touching stuff with them, and then they're touching other stuff with them, and then they're taking them off and they're leaving them in their car. They're no good after that, right? And they have to be disposed of properly. A couple of places here in Canada, they've showed the parking lots of these grocery stores, and they're just littered with masks and gloves. Please don't do that. Oh, that's cool. Having a skull and a crossbone, or having a design on the front of the magazine or on the front of the mask. That's pretty cool, right? Yeah, I use tap. Well, I haven't been out, but I tell when my husband uses my card, I tell him to use tap too, so nobody has to touch it. Yeah, the gloves I think are kind of poorly used, if you will. So I have to go to the doctors, and I have an appointment mid-May, and I'm thinking that I might have to go to this one. I don't know. I've had a couple doctor's appointments leave or canceled. So when I start to think about this, and it starts to get on my nerves, and I think, oh my God, how is this going to look, and how am I going to handle this, and what's going to happen, and what if this happens, and what if that happens, and what if the other thing happens, right? And so I have to get this anxiety under control. And Carol helped me many years ago get my anxiety under control simply by recognizing it, that it was anxiety and not an actual physical symptom. I was able to tell my mind that this was anxiety, that this wasn't really physical, right? So when you start overthinking these things, and when cities start opening up and people start going back to normal, you're going to start thinking these things, and you're going to start overthinking them. Stop doing that. Use the STAR situation. Situation, task, action, result. So the situation is I have to leave the house for a doctor's appointment. and I'm really, really anxious about it. So the task is doing it without contacting COVID-19 or coming in touch with anybody who has COVID-19. And you're right, Kevin. This tapping, if anybody reads COPD Net, there was an article on there this month, not too long ago, and she was talking about tapping, tapping your shoulders, tapping your chest, tapping your arms, right? And concentrating on this tapping. And when you tap, I think you tap twice, and just tapping over your body, right? And concentrating on that. Just that simple action can take your mind off of the anxiety that is happening, right? Because what you're doing is you're focusing, and it's very similar to mindfulness, right? So that you're focusing, and you're focusing on what you're tapping on, right? We all get these times when, you're kind of fed up, you've had enough, your nerves get bad, your feet kind of jump, you're itchy all over. And one of the things that I have found is that mindfulness and however you perform mindfulness will definitely help you. And tapping is one of them. I was talking to somebody this morning, Kevin, and I mentioned about tapping. And she said, in their facility, they have drumming. It's exactly the same thing, right? All you're doing is you're using your hands and you're concentrating on something else than what's going on. And you're allowing that anxiety to settle, right? And to stop. Excellent points of view, right? Because we're all getting to this point, right? Oh, thanks. Kevin has just put up the link to the video. Thank you very much, Kevin. You're so good at that. Yes, you can definitely make your own hand sanitizer if you can find the right ingredients, right? Oh, meditating to drumming is fabulous, Carol. It's a great idea. And that's, if you're meditating to drumming, you are practicing mindfulness. What you're doing is you're controlling what your mind is thinking. You're concentrating on something other than the anxiety that is swirling around. So, Carol, I know for a fact that you have a really good angle or handle on your anxiety, and this is probably one of the ways. So Merlin says, concentrated lemonade mixed with honey and garlic and some real ginger. If you can just drink it concentrated, and this helps if your throat's itching, if your chest feels tight, and if you have a strange headache. Interesting, Merlin. So I've got to tell you that Merlin is my daughter-in-law's mother, and my son-in-law swears by Merlin's recipes for getting rid of a cold and flu. So I've never tried James's concoction, as Jeff calls it. He calls it James's concoction. But he has threatened me many, many times with trying it, but he swears by it. So thank you for that, Merlin. Yeah, so we've got to get our anxiety under control. People are freaking out all over the place saying, I don't want the country to open. I do want the country to open. People want to get back to work, and I can understand that. But this is kind of something that's a little bit different, and it's a little bit more serious, right, than just money. So we have to stay the track, and we have to keep our anxiety down. And I hope that if you have come on today, I hope that you will drop a message in the comments so that I know that you're here, and that everybody will just calm down and have a great week. Probably nothing is going to change between this week and next week, but we're going to start seeing those changes soon. And as the weather gets better, we're going to be able to be out a little bit more. But we're going to we are going to need to really keep our distance and stay away from people, not moving more than 6 feet or 2 meters. And eventually life will go on. Everything will change. It will all go back to the way that it was, and life will go on. And I hope that you're here with me next week while we discuss more of the same. This is Barbara Moore for Catch Your Breath 60. Thank you for joining me today. I appreciate every comment and every person who comes on here. Thank you.